into today's Inktober, I had done some thumbnails and I had done a few sketches and thought through some of the values and had a semi-concrete way of how I wanted to ink things. But as I started, I decided to change a lot of things. One of the reasons was I felt like I didn't have time to commit to everything I had originally intended and wanted out of this piece. And so I felt like I needed to simplify it a little bit. So I kind of threw a lot of the plans that I had out the window and just started kind of winging it. And on the one hand, I feel like it left this piece feeling a little bit weak and it's definitely not the strongest illustration that I've ever created. But I actually think it was worth it because I took some risks with the inking that I don't think I would have done if I'd had a plan going into it. There were things that I don't know if I would have thought of if I wasn't playing around with the inks today. So it was actually really fun, and it gave me a lot of ideas of things that I can use in the future. Some of the things that I tried definitely didn't work out, either at all or just in this piece as a whole. But there are a few things that I feel like do look good in the illustration and I'd also definitely do again. And one of those is actually the light gray background. I actually decided to do that like a second before I did it because I had been thinking, I think I'm going to do less extreme line work, and I was trying to think through how that would look if there was a way I could make that look better. And I thought, maybe a light background that isn't white would help soften the piece as a whole. So I just went for it, and I feel like it worked out. I feel like it does give it a softer feel, and I also really like how the white highlights stand out a lot more since they're not right next to a huge white space. I also like the way that the branch fades as it goes further up the page close to the edges. I was a little bit worried about the branch being just this big dark line that broke up the piece in a weird way. So I was trying to think of a way that I could still incorporate it without having it be distracting and making things look weird and drawing the eye off the page. And this was the solution that I came up with, and I think it worked. I could possibly be biased because I've stared at this for way too long, but I feel like it still looks like a branch, but it doesn't take the attention away from what should be the focus of the illustration. So that's something that I would definitely do in the future, not just thinking about where to place large or weird shapes in a piece that might be necessary. Also thinking about other solutions like things fading away or being a different value to help keep the focus away from them. One thing that I don't love, but I might try again, is the way that the back leg is like a lighter faded color compared to the front leg. I feel like because of the way I painted the rest of the body and the piece as a whole, it looks really weird. It just looks like I forgot to finish painting it. But I have an idea in my head of what it's supposed to be and the way I would change it, so I might try that again in the future. I really like it when pieces have things that are in shadow, not have a lot of detail. And that's what I had been going for, and I thought, it might be cool to also make it lighter than the front leg because it's in the background and so it'll fade away, but her leg shouldn't be that far in the background compared to her front leg. So I don't think it worked. So looking back at that, I would change that going forward. But it is an idea that I think I would incorporate in the future that I wouldn't have thought of with ink. Like, it's something that I might have done with charcoal. So I'm curious to see if I can find a way to make that same idea work with ink. Anyways, there were things that I liked with this piece and things that I didn't. But overall, it was just nice to have a more chill piece that I could just have fun with and experiment and have it just be a little bit less complicated and a little bit more relaxed. So I feel refreshed and I'm ready for tomorrow. Thanks for watching my newest Inktober video. So far, I feel like Inktober is pushing me out of my comfort zone a ton, which is probably a good thing. So I'm excited to keep going with it. I'll be posting videos here every single day this month. And if you want to see pictures, you can go to my Instagram at Mackenzie_Benson. Thanks, bye!